So Shashi, you agree with Nehru when he said a uniform civil code is desirable?
Yeah.
But do you also agree that therefore in 2022 we need to have a relook at it and maybe look at it over the next 25 years as one of the objectives to try and build a more inclusive society, have equal laws?
It shouldn't be a majoritarian code. It should be one that takes into account the views of all religions. I mean, there have been attempts.
Sure.
You know, you come from Goa. There's a uniform civil code there.
So it's already
See
done.
how that worked. Let's say get elements that work. No, but the elements of Portuguese law there that won't apply in the rest of India. Similarly, now we understand there's an experiment being attempted in Uttarakhand, but Uttarakhand doesn't have too many minorities. The challenge is going to be to take the interests of all groups in a diverse and plural society into account. That's all we're saying.
The Hindu code has already been constantly reformed. Increasingly there is gender equality in inheritance, in marriage, in all matters.
Supreme Court decisions.
And I fully support it. And the BJP, which is in power, has not once tried to reverse anything introduced by Nehru, Ambedkar, Supreme Court. If at all, they've gone the more quote-unquote progressive direction, saying we should have minimum age of marriage is 21, including for women. But the problem is society cannot run in parallel tracks. You cannot have Indian Muslim girls being allowed to marry at 13 because they've achieved puberty, because that's what Fatwa-e-Alamgari says as per the Supreme Court. But Indian Hindu girls can only marry at 21. Similarly, if I support, for example, going as opinion changes, same-sex marriage, but not under the Hindu marriage law, under a uniform civil code. Let consenting adults live a life of dignity. But you cannot put all the reform on the Hindus and say, by the way, a 13-year-old Muslim girl can marry if she wants, and that husband can have 3 more wives. And that is the law of the land. Whether or not it happens on the ground, I agree. We should not demonize our Muslim brothers and sisters. Most of them do not actually do this on the ground. If that is the reality, then why it's even more important for the Congress to get ahead and say, let me take ownership of this reform. What is stopping you?
Shashi Tharoor is caught between the devil and the deep blue sea because,
which one are you?
He's a Congress politician.
I'm the deep blue sea.
He's a Congress politician and a public intellectual, and sometimes those two self-images tend to collide.
No, so I'm not a Congress spokesman.
When you spoke of a uniform civil code, I could see the smile on Shashi, almost in agreement, but at the same time worried that what will my party say? Will I be the next in line to leave the party? Should that happen?
I'm not a party spokesman. You asked me to speak in my own capacity, and I'm doing that.
Yeah,
so I'm telling you what I believe.
Yeah, well, I'm glad to know that you do believe that a uniform civil code is desirable, but it should be done through a process of consultation.
Exactly.
Am I correct?
Correct.